Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Gang. Currently, this is the final episode of the Gyra phase. It has been over half a year since our last update. The last update was in the first half of 25 years. Then, in the first half of this year, we mainly focused on the development of the Gyra project. Currently, it is at version 5.6 and has been undergoing stable testing on Steam. In the second half of the year, we worked on the Lyra course. We successfully completed all the Lyra content explanations. You can see this position here. Then we can open this video. According to this time, it started in June, and after continuous work, we finally reached a conclusion. Then why is this the final episode? So, does that mean this project is coming to an end? We will continue to advance the framework productization of the Gyra project. Currently, the project has been upgraded to version 5.7. Last time we updated, it was still version 5.6. We have a plan to completely rewrite and adjust the entire Lyra architecture. You can see the latest progress and code on GitHub or in our videos. In the second half of 2025, we conducted a thorough review of all Lyra code. Can see is code locations, where we have made detailed comments. After the review, we found that this codebase was initially released starting from 5.0. With engine updates, many new features are added and old features are removed. We need to continuously adjust. When we migrated to Gyra and reset the entire project, we won't need to go through all this trouble anymore. We can directly use the plugs of GyraFramework. Now, this approach is fine. We can package and run it. However, when extending or refactoring, it will be very inconvenient. After systematically studying Lyra, we found that many features are not necessary. You can download our notes, which contain many features that are indeed not needed. For example, this pocket plug trend, third-person Bomberman gameplay, automation framework, synchronization list, These are no longer needed. Like this message routing purge. In fact, the engine has provided a new asynchronous message purging mechanism. Should be this plugin, asynchronous message plugin. Then, Lyra itself has designed the EOS process. When you do sessions, you will find that the session system isn't as useful. If you go to launch this theme, you need targeted adjustments. We directly use the high-level session plugin, which makes things much more convenient. We plan to continue extracting Gyra as an independent game framework plugin in 2026. That is, when we write projects in the future, we can reuse this plugin. You can see the current example project. It is still in an empty state. Because it took us 8 months to complete the Lyra project. Think. February is exactly the Chinese traditional New Year. We will take a break for a while and then start the new work. The project has been loaded here. The plugin name is temporarily named GyraFramework. All the code is still in blank state. The file architecture is maintained. We will remove all the content that is not needed comprehensively to avoid interfering with our framework operation. Then everyone also needs to pay attention here, because the recent AI programming iteration speed is very fast. In fact, I have full reason to think it's possible that my plugin hasn't been completed yet. AI can already autonomously handle most of the code. Possibly, are we going to become the last generation of manual traditional programmers for Unreal Engine? This is truly a somewhat cold joke. Unreal Engine itself is quite heavy. The related corpus may not be sufficient yet. Therefore, AI is not very effective in handling blueprint connection puzzles, but if it's helping to generate C++ code or script languages, it's quite good. So here's the current situation we want to share with everyone. We are just copying the file structure over. We will also synchronize the development process of the framework plugin with everyone. Regarding the code of the Gyra project itself, we will no longer make adjustments. However, GyraFramework will integrate our old feature points to ensure continuity. Its historical mission has been completed. In fact, the refactoring has already been completed. In our latest video. There are also some thoughts about packaging here. Actually, regarding this part, think we pack it up. The reason for packing is because we want to have a more detailed management of assets. Because the Unreal Engine's loose packaging mechanism processes through associations, sometimes it makes me uncomfortable. Because we found some weird assets entered our package. We wrote a table plan to divide the asset packages, mainly divide into chunk, think. Then place our common materials, models, textures, and audio assets, etc. into the package with a lower number. Then place these assets that undergo high-frequency changes into the package with a higher number. You can see the divided files. The current pack files are listed out. The pack0 file cannot be processed. Even an empty project will have a size of about 200 megabytes. You can use the command line to view the files contained in pack0. Find the text file that records our command line. Think. Modify the command. Ensure that the path to the engine file is correct. Switch to the directory of the file. Open the command line window through the path. Copy the command into the window. Note to modify the pack file you are viewing. Note the accuracy of the path. You can see the asset files included in pack0. It contains a lot of assets from the engine. We do not want the project's files to be included here. Then we can look at other files. For example, the pack file related to monsters here, 1103. There's none here. It might be that we made some adjustments. So we check the file for 110 too. Change the command to 110. Here is the file contained in pack1 102. This file includes the game features, behavior trees, and environmental queries used by the monsters. So this video will briefly demonstrate up to this point. Thank you for watching.